The woke left is still in meltdown mode, and honestly, watching it unfold is wild. They can't handle the fact that Kamala Harris lost to Donald Trump, so the excuse train is running full speed. But then Bill Maher, a guy who proudly calls himself a liberal, dropped a reality check so harsh it sent shockwaves through his own side. And the fallout? Absolute chaos online. If you want political commentary that cuts past the spin and really rattles the woke crowd, hit that subscribe button, because this one, instead of owning their mistakes, Democrats keep pointing fingers everywhere: Russia, the media, voters, basically anyone but themselves. Accountability? Nowhere to be found. So when Maher got up to speak, many expected the same old blame game. But instead, he flipped the script, telling them to stop whining and start looking in the mirror. That alone had people shifting in their seats, but it didn't stop there. His unfiltered rant didn't just make folks uncomfortable. It lit a firestorm that sent the internet into one of its biggest meltdowns. It's no wonder Bill Maher drives the far-left crowd insane. Nothing cuts deeper than criticism from your own team. They want him to stick to the late-night routine. Bash Trump, throw cheap shots, recycle the same jokes as Kimmel and Colbert. But Maher doesn't play along. He's not there to cheerlead. He's there to challenge. And when he turns that sharp edge on Democrats, the result isn't just awkward. It's devastating. His blunt commentary leaves his side scrambling for excuses every single time. Maher spelled out the uncomfortable truth behind Trump's comeback. He managed to keep his loyal supporters while also pulling in fresh ones. Meanwhile, Democrats couldn't even hold onto the voters they already had. By Biden's second year, almost half of his base had jumped ship. And it wasn't just everyday Americans. Big names like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk failed too. Even RFK Jr. eventually broke away after clashing with a far-left agenda. Maher's point was sharp. Trump grew his coalition while Democrats drove theirs away, watching their own foundation crumble in real time.
Fight was bad enough.
And the drama doesn't stop there. Even after endless attempts to sink Trump with scandals, he survived. They dragged him through courtrooms, turning trials into media circuses. Networks covered every smirk, every word, hoping to destroy him. But in the end, he walked away cleared and came out with something shocking: strong support from a majority of white women voters. The media script they tried to write fell apart, and voters decided to write their own ending instead.
But there's plenty of non-crazy people, liberal people, who think the left has gone a little mad with trans issues. Some have expressed that opinion with literary sophistication, like J.K. Rowling. Some by getting big laughs, like Dave Chappelle. And some are downright ugly about it, like Linehan. But ugly is the price of a freedom so great as speech.
Meanwhile, Harris was bleeding support among black voters, a group Democrats have always counted on. Why? Because the party went so deep into woke culture that they lost touch with their own base. Instead of talking about jobs, safety, or education, they catered to activist groups and pushed agendas that clashed with community values. Harris didn't engage, she lectured. And that approach didn't just miss, it backfired. Frustration grew, enthusiasm dropped, and black voters sent a clear message: their support is not. This is why so many people still respect Trump. He doesn't hide behind rehearsed talking points. Like him or not, you always know where he stands. No sugarcoating. No fake promises. Just blunt honesty. And in today's politics, that's rare. Harris was the opposite. Her campaign was a mess of mixed messaging. She shifted her talking points depending on the crowd and dodged tough issues. Her speeches were full of buzzwords, but short on substance. People tuned in expecting leadership and walked away confused. Democrats, if they want any shot in the future, they have to escape the chokehold of woke politics. Americans don't want ideological lectures. They want real solutions. They care about inflation, safety, stability, not Twitter battles or identity politics. But instead of listening, Democrats double down on culture wars and virtue signaling. The result? Frustrated voters who feel ignored and angry. Maher's warning was simple: get back to real issues, or keep losing.
Kanye, this fucking dog. They're all wrong, and they all have the right to be wrong. Britain is now considering the so-called pub law. Okay, it's not just about pubs. It's a workplace bill aimed at preventing any kind of harassment in the workplace, including verbal remarks overheard. Okay, problem is, a pub is a workplace. So's a bookstore. Would a major chain like Waterstones risk hosting a book signing by a controversial author like J.K. Rowling? And pubs? People go to pubs for two reasons: to drink and to exercise their inalienable right to talk shit.
But they didn't listen. While families were struggling with rising costs and stagnant wages, Democrats spotlighted issues like gender-affirming care for minors and fights over women's sports. Meanwhile, America's global influence slipped, rivals grew bolder, and allies lost confidence. Instead of uniting the country, the DNC chose divisive battles that pushed people apart. The outcome? A base that felt abandoned and voters searching for leadership elsewhere.
They're not in the
authentic. Harris failed to inspire, offering vague slogans instead of real answers. While Trump talked jobs and safety, Democrats obsessed over culture wars that fractured their coalition. They lost white women, alienated black voters, and ignored warning signs, even from voices like Bill Maher. The result was inevitable. If Democrats want to compete again, they'll have to stop making excuses and reconnect with the people they claim to represent.